Live.
Coming at you live.
No, seriously, we're live.
Oh, you want me to start this? I thought you were the main host.
When that little yellow thing goes, we go.
Oh, I know, but I thought the host was going to start something.
Oh, I'm used to everyone telling stories before I actually get to start the show, but I can
Uh,
do an actual start of the show if you'd prefer.
Nah, that's good. All right. So I was at back in '08, the far back days of 2008. I went to a little music festival called Bonnaroo in Tennessee, and guess who was there?
Batman?
No, close. The actual Willie Nelson.
Ooh, very nice.
And I had my ID on me, and and he was just finishing up his set, so I was like, "Hey guys, hold on, I'm gonna go see if I can meet him." So I went down to like the side of the stage where some bouncer people are, make sure people don't sneak back there. I was like, "Hey guys, listen, my name is Willie Nelson. Here's my ID. I'm serious. Is there any way I can meet him?" They looked at me, then they looked at the ID, and they looked back at me. And they pretty much said, "I don't care what your fucking name is. You ain't getting back here." I was like, are you
Aw,
fine.
as it should be.
Later on that night, MIA was playing, I fly like paper, get high like planes, that girl.
okay.
Somehow or another, I actually get to meet her. And I tell her the stories like, yeah, I was denied meeting Willie Nelson. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Well, here's for a story." And she gives me a kiss.
That makes for a good story.
And
I
that
don't know, you might have won out in this whole thing, actually.
Better than kissing Willie Nelson.
I don't know, that'd make for a good story, too.
I'm thinking that might still be the better story. Get to pull on his little, pull on his pony or pigtails.
You could hold the pigtails in place to make sure he can't get away while you're laying one on him. That's what I
Oh,
was
I'm
thinking.
not that mean. I'm much bigger than him. I could just pick him up and lift him up.
This took a dark, dark turn.
Yeah, it did.
Dark
Whoa,
turn.
what were you guys talking about? I was looking for a big old bear hug. Don't make it weird, guys.
But you're talking about an old dude that you're going to crush to you. He'll not be able to
Yeah.
escape. That's more
I'm
what I mean.
gentle.
You
Talk
might
about
act.
sexually assaulting an elderly
Whoa!
Whoa! I wasn't going there, but he's gonna assault a legend in the music industry, and your bear hug. It's like why people weren't allowed to hug Bob Barker because he was old and his bones were brittle.
Hey. Now, I'm gentle. More gentle than you guys are when you guys just throw stuff on me as a guest.
What did we throw on you? We've been good lately.
Lately, this is my fourth appearance.
Okay, touche.
Hand me Ariel.
I don't even know where to go from here. So, as you all have learned, when I don't know what to do, I don't segue. So, here's my opportunity to say welcome, everyone, to episode 179 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on October 4th, 2015. And I think we're going to call this episode, based off a naming suggestion from SP, The Permanent Willie, because we have to have a naming convention.
The permanent Willie.
I got nothing. So, you guys might notice we haven't heard a Naki story. She's not here this week. She should be back next week, but it's her and Keith, her boyfriend, aka Clone Freak from the chat room. It's their 2-year anniversary, so they are out on the town doing insane things. I saw something yesterday about riding dinosaurs.
Ooh.
I guess they're at some...
She's been putting up a bunch of pictures.
Yeah. Then there's dinosaurs to be ridden, so you can't really beat that.
Steven has a question for you in the chat room, Willie.
Oh, God.
I don't have it up. What is it?
All right. Steven, aka One Big Papa here, says, wait, was that the year MIA performed at the Grammys the day before she gave birth? Willie, what did you do? I guess what he's asking is, are you the father?
I was never told. Is it White and Harry?
That was a hell of a kiss.
Well, we might be able to find out. There's lots of people that know how to do Google, so Google Rangers, get on it.
Find out what her MIA's kid looked like.
Does it look like one Willie D. Nelson? And I don't mean the famous musician. I mean the infamous podcaster. Infamous now. We're going with infamous. I think that's a powerful enough statement.
If he doesn't want to be famous, then I'll make him infamous!
I wish I remembered what that was from.
Really? When you get a picture of Julia's Julia Roberts in the thong. We can't get a picture of this freak.
Oh God! Oh yes, Spider-Man.
Fucking Spider-Man.
I had to stop and think for a second. I was like, oh yeah, it is.
Oh, J.K. Simmons is always in my head. You know how in Inside Out, Lewis Black is anger. Mine is J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. That's the anger voice in my head.
My anger voice in my head is Ian McDiarmid and his Emperor Palpatine voice.
Nice. Yeah, see, that's too soft.
No, it's soft and subtle anger.
Yeah, my anger doesn't do subtle.
Nah, you'll be fine. I have.
Mine's J. Jonah Jameson. He's out there coming to get you.
No.
So, like I said, welcome everyone to the show. I think that, wow, I didn't introduce anyone. I'm doing terrible in these intros lately. I'm Chris. I'm always here. Bachman, he's always here. But we have, for his 4th week in a row, which he's gunning for the guest record of consecutive appearances, one Willie D. Nelson.
Yeah, it's
have
me.
the consecutive one.
No, because we did Ryanuary, and Ryan came on the episode before Ryanuary started a few years ago.
That's true.
So the
he did, like,
record
5 or
is
6?
5. You have to get 6 in a row to beat Ryan's record. And it's beatable now, though, because if you honestly think about it, Ryan can't come on these on Sundays anymore because he's generally working. So unless we do some special edition stuff to get him back, which we probably should, because everyone likes Ryan, and we need some more board game news, he can't add to his record.
I need to get him to download Pacifist and give it a playthrough and let us know what he thinks.
Ooh, there you go. Send a little message on the Twitters or the Facebooks. That's what I say. Not that I'm an expert on anything here.
Actually, now I think about it, I remember. I think the first time I ever heard about that DC deck building was from you guys.
Yeah, Ryan loved that game, and then we all came to love it too. I actually played that with him, Jeanette, Naki, and probably some people I'm forgetting at C2E2 2 or 3 years ago when I was there, and it was hella fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that game on here when it came on.
That and the X-Wing Miniatures game, that is also Ryan's fault that I played that game.
Yeah,
and
you two wouldn't shut up about that one.
It's a fucking amazing game. That's all I can really say, is it is amazing.
It is.
I still haven't tried it yet.
Well, you get to work. Try it. Do it now. We're going to pause the podcast, let you go play a game. We'll come back in an hour after that game.
No.
Oh.
I have no money to go buy a big stack of miniatures.
Well, since I'm all sad now, let's just go to the news of the week.
That works.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week. That's right, folks. It's that time where we share with you what we think is the news of the week. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the biggest news that's happened out there, but it's the stuff that we find the most interesting. Basically, it's our way to guarantee we talk about some news we think is interesting, because we're terrible about getting to the regular news. Terrible. Oh, really. It's just the truth. And I'm going to toss it to one Anthony Bachman first. What do you got first?
Mine is a nice, easy, fun one. For those that don't know, it is October, which means it is Inktober. Excuse me. Mr. Jake Parker, a guy who lives in Utah, works as an animator, and does a lot of illustrations for children's books, and is now currently the the artist for Scotty Young's Rocket Raccoon comic from Marvel Comics. He's the one that took over when Scotty Young couldn't do the drawing and the writing. Jake Parker's the one that was drawing that book. The guy's a fantastic artist, but about 6 years ago now, he came up with Inktober in 2009, and when he put it out there, he acted like it was already a thing. He just basically sent out the first drawing in the tweet on October 1st saying, hey, I'm going to participate in Inktober this year. Everybody should play along. And at that point, up until he sent that tweet out, like, it didn't exist. It's something he made up. But now it's become a pretty big thing. Lots and lots of artists take part of it. You can see all the his basic rules and stuff for pretty much challenging yourself as an artist to do 31 ink drawings in 31 days. He has all the information about it up on mrjakeparker.com/Inktober. Inktober has its own Facebook page. It has its own Tumblr. And then, yeah, basically if you go anywhere and just do hashtag Inktober, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's all over the place. Most of my favorite artists that I like following on Twitter, it's something to where when, if they have the time, depending on whatever their projects are, and they start rolling around for October, they'll try to set it up to where usually people will do a theme so they'll try to think of a certain thing that they want to do. Like Justin Stewart this year, Mr. Justin at Justin 3000 on Twitter is doing mashup creatures. So he did like the Mer-Squatch yesterday. So he did a Sasquatch Merman. I think he's done the what was it? Franken Mummy was day one, and then like the Wolf Dracula. Something. He's basically taking classic monsters and mashing them together. So his have been really cool. Tressa Bowling is just doing just badass villains. So day one she did Dracula. Yesterday I think she did Immortan Joe for Mad Max. And then I wanted to make sure I participated this year, so I got myself a new little sketchbook. Put Inktober on the cover. And then so far, 3 days in, I've done 3 sketches. I did Even Peel, one of the little crazy Jedi Masters.
Ooh.
I did Lando Calrissian's right-hand man, Lobot. And then yesterday, I completed, from the Clone Wars, Captain Rex, Clone Trooper.
Very nice.
My plan is to do 31 days of 31 characters from Star Wars. So when I'm done, I should hopefully have 31 brand new drawings, all of Star Wars characters. And to help me along, because I wanted to figure out something that I hadn't done drawings of before. Because I've done a couple Star Wars, not much, but, a little. I went and got the Star Wars card trader. So I now have like
careful.
500 cards on here. Oh, I won't pay for it.
Be careful.
But
it's
just
like
with the free login money,
right?
You get cards every day. I have like 500 reference pictures of Star Wars characters.
Right,
So,
but even the free money cards, it's like crack. You're like, oh my god, I have to get this special insert. And you're like, oh man, I didn't get it.
I don't need special nothing, but I have a database of Star Wars characters that I can look at and use for reference for my drawing, so it's awesome.
So we have a special request from the chat room for an Inktober project for you.
Oh, yeah?
Michelle has asked, do Darth Talon, then send it to her.
I will write that down. I can do a Darth Talon.
He's doing it right now. And when you catch up with us in the 90 seconds it takes the chat room to catch up to the live stream, you'll hear it.
Darth Talon for Michelle. All right. That one, I'll have to wait till the end of the month because that'll need some serious prep time because, she's... The black and red, that'll be a lot of inking.
I imagine
so
it will
far
be.
So far I've got a little easy on any of those, like the super dark characters. I haven't done the Emperor yet. I haven't done but I have on my list to do the Emperor, Savage Ventress, and Darth Maul. So
Savage Opress, you mean? Because Ventress is...
Savage Opress, yeah.
Just making sure.
The two.
Because Ventress
Darth
is a different
and his
character.
brother. Yeah, Darth and his brother.
You should tweet that to Sam Witwer because he's all about the fan art from all of his different Star Wars characters, it seems like. Nice.
But yeah, so that's my news of the week. Yeah, go check it out. And also we can add in the chat room, I have the link to Jake Parker's video where he explains all of Inktober and actually shows his sketchbooks. And it's really cool. It's a fun watch to show what he did for the last 5 years, basically.
Well, that's pretty cool. I can dig it.
Inktober, it's fun.
And you're putting all these up on your Instagram, right?
Yep. So at Bachman Anthony on Instagram and at Anthony Bachman on Twitter, and they're also up on my Facebook.
So there you go. But that's how you guys can see all the cool stuff.
If you want to see some killer art, go to Twitter, go to Instagram, go to basically any social media, and just search hashtag Inktober, and you will find tons of awesome stuff.
That's awesome.
It's one of my favorite months of the year now, just to see all the crazy. Yeah, like Scotty Young also is doing it. He's doing Harry Potter characters again. So his version of Harry Potter characters are awesome. He did Hagrid yesterday, and it's basically the whole drawing is just beard. It's just all beard.
I can see it. I can see that a lot. So let's move on to the next one. Willie, what do you got for your news this week? I think he might have muted himself by accident because we don't hear a word he's saying.
Yeah, we're not hearing you, Willie. You're moving your mouth, but no sound is coming out.
He's just trying to make me edit this week. I see.
How's that?
Now we've got you.
All right. So apparently at a music venue, security did their job. They did it well. They kicked out this homeless guy who was trying to crash the stage. Too bad that homeless man was Rob Zombie himself.
Oops.
Yeah, he kept repeatedly saying, "I'm Zombie. What are you doing?" Apparently, security guards could be overheard saying, "Yeah, right. This ain't The Walking Dead, pal."
Wow.
So how do you feel if you realize, oh crap, I just tossed Rob Zombie out of a music venue? I mean, I guess it's braggable material.
Yeah. I bounced Rob Zombie once. That's a story people would tell if you worked security.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well,
Like, why'd you kick him out? Because he looked fucking homeless.
apparently the fans were waiting approximately 2 hours for Rob Zombie to appear on stage. The venue owner was frantically searching backstage for the artist and could be heard shouting, "Where's Zombie?"
Oh shit! It was
Oh,
it was
no.
one he was actually supposed to play at. It wasn't like he was just there.
Yep, at this point, the two security guards realized they had mistakenly escorted Rob Zombie from the venue. And here's a quote from Rob Zombie about the ordeal. "Even though I smell like booze and cigarettes, I'm definitely not homeless. I tried to tell them I was a zombie, but I think they actually took me for a literal zombie, which I also kind of look like."
That's fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Segue out of that one.
Awesome.
I don't even know how to segue out of that one, but I'm going to do my news of the week next, and I'm going to talk a little tech story here, which I found very interesting. But Amazon, it's the marketplace we all go for all of the ridiculous goods and services and tech we need. I buy all sorts of stuff from there because I'm unhealthily addicted, and 2-day shipping means I can be like, I don't care, it'll be here in 2 days, and don't have to go to the actual store. I guess what Amazon just sent an email out to their retailers, and that states that as of October 29th, they need to have all of their inventory of Google Chromecasts and Apple TVs sold, because as of that date, they will no longer be allowed to sell them on Amazon.com.
Ooh.
That's right. Amazon is basically saying, yeah, you guys don't have Amazon Prime on it, so we don't want it in our marketplace. And here's the kicker. You go on and see the top sales, and Chromecast is generally the top 10 in electronics. The Apple TV is generally the top 25. They're competitors. Now, do you want to know the reason they're saying they're doing this? You guys want to know that piece?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
So let me cue something up here because I might go off.
Warning! Warning!
You are now entering Super Dick Mode!
So here's the real horseshit of this, is they say we want these no longer to be in our marketplace because we want to prevent any consumer confusion, because with these devices, you cannot access the Amazon Prime video stores because they're not available on Apple TV or Chromecast. But you know the real kicker? Google made the Chromecast SDK available to everyone. They said, hey, if you want to make a Chromecast-compatible app, here you go. Here's the SDK integrated. All of the Amazon Prime stuff could have been Chromecast-compatible. Amazon made the choice not to do it. It just goes back to this dumb, stupid war we've got between Amazon and Google, where Amazon builds their tablets off of a forked version of Android and then doesn't want to have any tie-ins into the Google marketplace. They want to put all their apps on there, and it's just a mess right now, guys. And the fact that they're going as far as banning the sale of Apple TVs and Chromecast just because they don't play nice with the Prime infrastructure when Amazon could make it play nice is dumb. Absolutely dumb. It is not consumer friendly at all. This is an instance of them saying they're trying to prevent consumer confusion, and in all likelihood, all they're trying to do is push their own product over top of those. It sucks for them that your product doesn't sell better than those things, but don't screw over the customer. That's really all I got. It just really annoys the crap out of me. Just such a stupid, blatant move to be like, oh, we're taking these down, and really it's because our product's not as good. Absolute crap.
I agree. It's stupid. Competition makes for a better marketplace. But in all fairness, I mean, it's their store. If they don't want to sell their competitors' tech, okay.
I mean, but
I can't be mad at Amazon
Amazon's been
for it.
built on being like the front door of where you go to buy anything you want. And it just strikes me as anti-competitive now. We don't want to sell that now. When they've been selling it forever. It just smacks of insincerity, the reason they describe that they don't want it on there. We're preventing consumer confusion. No, you're trying to spark your own sales and protect your sales of a similar product.
Yeah, which
Don't
is
try
what
and
they
bullshit
are
me.
doing. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, like Amazon wants to say that they sell everything, but now they're not going to sell some of their competitors' tech. Okay, then don't say you sell everything, because Amazon no longer sells everything.
I mean, and there's some stuff they don't sell, and legitimately, because they'll look at customer reviews on it like, oh, this is a crappy product, we shouldn't be selling this, or it's adult themed, because they don't sell, like, actually, I could be wrong, you probably could buy porno and sex toys on Amazon.
What do you think?
You can buy everything else there except Chromecasts and Apple TVs, so I would assume you can buy those.
Trust me, you
No.
can. You
Is
know,
there porn on
I've done
Amazon?
research.
You've done the research, Willie.
You can.
I've never looked for porn on Amazon.
Maybe it'll be on Amazon Prime.
But who buys porn anymore?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know.
Why would
You
pay for porn.
You got the internet.
Yeah, and I will also point out that while Amazon banned the Chromecast and the Apple TV, they didn't ban things like the Roku, which is a streaming box, which magically has the Amazon Prime app, the Xbox, the PlayStation, things like that, because they all have Amazon Prime Video or video streaming or whatever the crap they're calling it now.
Yeah, so everything that has access to their system, they're still selling. They're just not selling anything that doesn't have the Amazon Instant Video on it.
But the thing that drives me the craziest is Chromecast, they could have it. It's not like Google said, no, you can't have this. Which I think might have been the case with Apple, because they probably didn't want a competing video store on their product.
Yeah, and Apple probably, Apple's not sharing their coding to anybody.
Right, yeah, Chromecast was built on the concept of here's the SDK, make your apps work with Chromecast. It's minimal code you have to add, and if you go and look at a lot of things that work with Chromecast, Voodoo works with it, all sorts of other video streaming apps. There's no reason not to do it, other than you just don't want to cut into your bottom line.
Yeah. Which is funny, because the only one of those that I've been thinking about getting is a Chromecast, so...
Well, the new
possibly
Chromecast...
a Roku 3.
I didn't realize that. So Michelle's saying in the chat room that Amazon doesn't do any of the in-house app development, so their hardware provider has to make their own. So Apple has to make it, not Amazon, for the Amazon Instant Streaming app for Apple TV. Well, I could see why Apple wouldn't want to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it.
So, new Chromecast was just announced. We can talk about that later in the show, but it is a solid device, it looks like. But I'm also a Chromecast fan. And all I see now in the chat room is, who the fuck buys porn?
Yep. Yeah.
But
you rent porn. You don't buy it. You rent it. You only need a couple minutes.
You know how to go to Google, right? You just go to Google and write porn, and I'm sure you'll find one of 4,000 different streaming porn sites.
Indeed.
Maybe even 6,000. No, that's an exaggeration. But before...
I'm sure there's more.
Yeah,
it's
sure
probably more
too.
But those numbers
Billions.
Before we transition into the rest of the show, though, I do have a special message incoming right now.
Incoming transmission.
Hey guys, it's Naki, and I am currently in space, which is where I've been the past couple of weeks, which totally makes sense as to why I haven't been on the show, and I'm really sorry about that I didn't get the chance to let anybody know that I was suddenly blasting off, and now I'm on Mars. True story. I thought it would be really cool, though, if I did a News of the Week talking about Mars, since I happen to be here and riding on Curiosity's back. But there was some really cool news that you guys down on Earth got, that NASA scientists announced that they had found chemical evidence of liquid waters on the surface of Mars, which I was like, yeah, I wonder if I could drink this water instead of, having all this bottled water stuff. But apparently it's very briny, and it's not 100% confirmed until we can touch it and analyze it and be humans and be like, I want to touch the thing, and that's kind of what we want to do. We're running into a problem, is that we can't actually go anywhere near it. Science Alert published a story saying why we're banned from investigating the liquid water, and it's because Curiosity had to travel 225 million kilometers from Earth through space, and along the way it probably picked up some dirt and some dust and all sorts of mysterious microbes, and it's not exactly clean. I'm actually sitting on a towel as I ride them. That doesn't sound weird, especially with my obsession with robot penises goes. Yeah. All of this is a completely normal day for me, I guess. But it says, it's a long way to go without having any sort of shower, and, it's true. I feel kind of gross up here. It's been almost 3 weeks with no shower for me. But it says, in the article, it says the scientists are trying to figure out a way that they can sterilize the space equipment once it arrives at its destination. We can't guarantee that sterilization, and there's no going near the water for now. And it says, Rich Zurich says, because liquid water appears to be present, we have to take extra precautions to prevent contamination by Earth life, which completely makes sense. We don't want to say that there's life on Mars when, just kidding, somebody just forgot to wipe their hands after they jerked it a little bit, and now we have life on Mars because some semen got up there. Yeah, that's the way I'm going to go with it. Shut up. Don't even think about it. Anyways. So the solution that Science Alert says is that we all know that NASA is planning on sending humans to Mars for the first time in mid-2030. So maybe some lucky astronauts will get the chance to catch some Mars water. And then last year, NASA also announced that they were developing robots that can 3D print infrastructure on Mars, which would be really cool if they could do that. And that way we could have the prints, and then hopefully it can come back to us in some way, shape, or form. We all know that Curiosity and Opportunity can't actually leave Mars, and it's programmed to sing happy birthday to itself every year. Does anybody else want to cry for these two? Wait, am I stuck up here? Fuck!
So, Naki went to go fact check the Martian movie / book is what we feel. So, we hope that she can make it back from Mars for next week's show. That being said, it takes 18 months to go to and from, or to go to Mars and then come back. So, it could be a long trip, unless she's got, like, light speed or teleportation or something like that.
I'll say she got there pretty quick.
It was magic of some kind. Space magic. It's like how Mass Effect 3 ended. Space magic.
Well, she'll have to space magic her ass back.
Well, that being said, though, going back to her news story, though, the fact that they found evidence of water on Mars, really freaking cool. The space nerd in me is like, oh, this is badass!
Is that why I'm here, to replace Naki? Because I'm a bad replacement.
Until she comes back from Mars.
You got some time.
We got
the
18
idea that
months.
there's water on Mars is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the
You know
idea
what?
that we keep spending money to go find Matt Damon is starting to piss me off.
That's
Saving
actually...
Private Ryan, Interstellar, The Martian. All this fucking dude ever does is get lost places and we have to pay to go get him.
Actually, The Martian is a really good flick. We can talk about that at the end of the show. We might have a special guest dropping in to talk about it. I will say this much, though. One of the cool things I heard about The Martian is NASA told Ridley Scott about 2 months ago, hey, you know, we found evidence of water on Mars if you want to try and include that in the movie. At that point, it was too late to do, obviously, but I do also have to give kudos to NASA here on this Mars news
Go
release.
Mars!
It makes a lot of sense because they did it right before the Martian movie came out, and there is a ton of buzz over that movie. So people excited about that movie then saw the news, and it was like, holy crap, and they just built upon each other. And awesome story. I love space travel. I want to see what else we can find next. I wish in my lifetime we could expect to have a manned mission to Mars, but I know I'll be dead and gone by the time we get people to Mars.
You never know.
Let's go back to the moon.
Sparked interest can definitely help. But
Yeah.
NASA needs dollars.
So
Yep.
my hope is that like announcements like this and news they find out about this, like having water on Mars and a book like The Martian that comes out that really draws a lot of attention and things like that. My hope is it inspires the next generation of kids. The kids that are like 9 to 14, 9 to 18, they're just like, holy crap, this space stuff is really cool. And they get that passion that people used to have in society and want to go and do the research and help go to NASA and get people into space and do exploration. Because we've kind of lost that spark in recent years. People like NASA, that's just a money hog. If we don't really get anything out of that, we just spend a ton of money and get nothing. I think we could do some really cool stuff. And I hope that news like this and The Martian, that inspires people to want to go out and be like, let's go back to space.
Well, no, and we do get cool stuff out of NASA. We get shit like Velcro.
Yeah. But
We
then
get
there's also...
inventions. They have to invent things to make stuff work in space, and we end up getting those inventions here on Earth.
Well, then there's also things that they do, like, we got to figure out how to make a pen right in zero gravity. You know
Hell
what the
yeah.
Russians did? They took pencils.
I mean,
Just saying.
how else was I supposed to enjoy moon shoes as a kid? NASA.
Moon shoes. Yeah, moon shoes were friggin' badass. Now I want moon shoes again, I'll be honest.
Amazon.
I don't.
I'm going to go to Amazon and...
That's what we call a callback, kids.
That's a callback. I'm going to go to Amazon and flush all my morals. Actually, I've already ordered stuff from Amazon since I saw that, so I really don't have any morals left on that.
So you can't order morals from Amazon. That's the one thing.
That's true. It's really true. So, as we transition off of the news, and also thank you to Naki for that update from Mars, I did want to ask, we talked a little bit last week about some of the new fall TV shows that come out. Have you guys had a chance to try anything else on the fall TV show slate?
I did watch Heroes Reborn. I guess the first big block 2-hour episode. I did watch that.
The pilot and episode 2, which was all released as one big episode basically.
I didn't watch the one. I guess that came out this past week. What is up with the video game chick?
So I'm not 100% sure what her power actually is. It seems like she can jump in and out of video games.
Yeah. Her superpower, she can load into an MMO.
Yeah.
What does it mean? With a sword only? Like, what?
That's how she activates her powers. How is that weird? Like, that's weirder than Sylar chopping people's heads open, looking at part of their brain, and because of that, he can do their superpower?
So the thing I want to ask, though, is did you notice whose sword that was she was carrying around?
I can only make assumptions.
Is it Heroes?
If you look at it, it looks just like Hero's sword. So my assumption...
I thought it was Hero's sword, but I wasn't sure.
I'm pretty sure it was, and I don't want to say anything that was revealed in this week's episode since nobody's seen it yet. But my thoughts going out of the first 2 episodes was that it was Hero's sword. But, yeah. I don't know. I'm still on board-ish with that show. I think I'm about to drop Minority Report.
See, that one I didn't watch, but I saw the first 2 episodes of Heroes, and I like the way the new show's going. I like the setup. And I like Zachary Levi. Chuck is awesome.
Yes, I really do enjoy Zachary Levi.
He's playing a dick, but I like watching that dude act. He's good at his job.
He's playing a dick well.
Yeah, he is.
Plus,
I like the teleporter kid. The kid who's
still not
sure exactly how his power works. The idea of being able to make things just instantly disappear, but you don't know where you're sending them, that's a fucking scary power. It's like, I don't know if I'm murdering these people or not, but oh well, kunk!
Oopsie.
Yeah, the idea that he was willing to teleport someone before he understood his power and didn't know whether or not he was murdering them, it's like, wow, that kid's fucking vicious.
Yeah, a little bit.
That was my only problem though with that show. Everything else I liked thoroughly.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that one. Let's see, Limitless I haven't had a chance to watch yet. I have the first 2 queued up. I'm not super stoked for that. Blind Spot I just need to make the time to watch because it's got Lady Sif in it, damn it, so I already know I'm going to enjoy it.
I've seen the first 2 episodes of Blind Spot. It's a really fun show, and basically every episode she's getting a little more memory back, a little more access to who she was and trying to figure out if she wants to be who she was again. Because, of course, she's basically starting with a blank slate and no personality. So she's like they do a lot in the second episode where she's afraid that she may not want to be the person that she was before, knowing she's done. But yeah, the second episode is all about drone attacks on American soil, so that was really good. And then I got caught up on Gotham and watched the first 2 episodes of this season. That has some good crazy shit in it. They've basically done just a super villain team of insane people that are now attacking Gotham City.
That's pretty cool.
Fucking cool.
That's really cool. I have not watched any of Gotham yet. I see in the chat room folks are mentioning Muppets are really funny. I haven't watched any of it because I'm not really a huge Muppet fan. Draftsman also said he watched Scream Queens and it was really funny also. I'm so far behind on stuff. I'm having a hard time just watching the stuff I normally watch. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came back this week. It was really good.
Yeah, the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was awesome.
And then this week,
seeing Daisy as Quake was fucking cool.
And then this week is the return of Flash and Arrow also. So I've got basically Tuesday and Wednesday I've got to load up on comic book shows. And then when Supergirl starts on Mondays, it's going to be 3 days in a row with 4 comic book shows across them. I'm in trouble, guys. I'm in a lot of trouble.
Oh, and I found out there was one more that I totally forgot about. I realized that I'd fallen a couple episodes behind. I'm like half a season behind on the Blacklist.
Oh, yeah, that did start up.
Yeah. Watching Age of Ultron yesterday, I was like, oh, fuck, James Spader. I didn't get caught up on the Blacklist again. Shit. So yeah, I went to start it up last night. I was like, oh fuck, I've missed a lot of episodes. I thought I'd completely finished season 2. No, I still have. I think I only made it to like the halfway point of last year. So I've got a bunch of shit to watch. I got to get caught up on that so I can watch the new episodes. Because they have because like NBC, basically the day after an episode comes out, like Blind Spot or Blacklist, you just wait till the next day and you can watch it live on their website.
I still have my Hulu, so I'm good on that.
Yeah, it's going to the Hulus, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then if you have the good Hulu, you don't have to verify because the like ABC Agents of Shield. The next day I checked, and on ABC's website, Agents of Shield's there, and they want you to verify your cable subscriber to watch it. But if you have Hulu, you can turn it on and it just plays.
That's nice.
I've never had to do that.
Yeah, some of the companies, they'll put it on their websites where you have to verify who your cable service is through.
None.
I have a cable service.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I watched Agents of Shield on Hulu, and yeah, that was good. Yeah, that new episode was awesome. That the new character they introduced, his power is fucking scary. Dude liquefies metal within like 50 meters.
Yeah, he's going to play a big role coming up. But if you want to find out more about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., make sure you listen to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the Gonna Geek Network as they run down all of the recent happenings in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But since the show's just spun back up, it's going to be very much Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. centric, I wager. You can find that over at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Nice plug.
Yeah, nice plug.
And they straight up dropped the first actual like Marvel Universe supervillain in the new first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So check that out, because that shocked the shit out of me when I saw him.
I know what I'm watching today.
Oh, fuck. I won't tell you who it is, but yeah, there's no mistaking who the character is if you read comics, and it was a fucking creepily done outfit. He looks fucking cool.
I thought so too, but let's transition. We're going to go on to the other news stories. I just wanted to play the porny sounding bump, I'll be honest. I'm super intrigued by it.
Porn.
Porn.
So, you mentioned Gotham earlier, Anthony. Has you heard the news that they plan on bringing the Court of Owls to Gotham?
Yeah, I did hear the rumor of that, which that could be kind of cool. Court of Owls was a great storyline that Scott Snyder did with Greg Capullo when they relaunched Batman in the New 52. The idea being that there's basically a secret society that was so dug in that Bruce Wayne, when he was a kid, heard about it and researched it and couldn't find anything, and so believed it to be like just a rumor or a fake like Illuminati story. And then as an adult, as the adult Batman in Gotham, he ends up actually being attacked by Talon, which is one of the guys who worked for the Court of Owls. And Batman ends up fighting the Court of Owls and finds out that there's been this secret society in the background of Gotham, the socialite scene, for like 100 years, and that they've been running shit, and they're so entrenched and hidden that fucking Batman didn't realize it. Like, they had parts, like they own parts of some of his buildings. Like, it's a crazy concept.
The fact that they're bringing it into the show super intrigues me. I just don't know what they're going to do with it. Like I said, I haven't watched any of it.
It gives you a way to have someone in a costume fighting, because you can have talons, and you would have basically a visual, almost representation of a Batman-like character without Batman.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be Batman Light was how they've described all of it to me when it comes to that. And I apologize, I was going to try and give more news on the Court of Owls story, but I can't get the story from CBR to load on my computer for some reason. It's just sitting and spinning.
Well, go on to the next thing. I'll see if I can get it up.
Well, so before we move on to that, Michelle... wow. Wow.
I got
it.
Yeah.
Realized it once I said it.
Yeah, so Michelle's in the chat room and said, speaking of Scott Snyder, I think we talked about this one last week, but Kyle Higgins is doing the Power Rangers comic, and that has her amused. You know what? I'm actually going to read it because I'm a huge Kyle Higgins fan. I really enjoyed his Batman Beyond and Nightwing runs. I enjoyed Cal, although I haven't finished it yet. So if he's going to go and take one of the shows I watched as a kid in the 90s, I'll read the comic for a few issues and then determine whether I'm hanging around. I'm totally on board with this one.
Nice.
Plus, the artwork looked awesome they showed. But that doesn't start until January, I don't think. Which is kind of a bummer. But whatever. So you guys know they're working on trying to do another Men in Black film, right?
No, I did not.
Yes,
I
they're
heard
planning on doing
allegedly.
another Men in Black film, but as of right now, Will Smith is not included in the project.
Then
I can
it's
see
not
that.
a Men in Black film.
I don't know if Tommy Lee Jones is included either, but
Without those two, I don't see the point.
I mean, you could do maybe I don't know if spin-off's the right term, but just a continuation with newer characters. I don't want to reboot, I guess is what I'm getting at.
The origin of Rip Torn, Zed.
You don't want oh, what's the one they just did? The Transporter, where they've redone the Transporter as a TV show and a different movie series. When the guy who played the Transporter is still alive and acting in movies.
Yeah, Jason Statham. And as I was speaking, I finally got this article to load. A Hollywood Reporter is saying that this is going to be reinvented as a trilogy, the new Men in Black. So I'm not sure if that means spin-off or reboot. Reinvented makes me go, I don't know what you mean in Hollywood terms.
Yeah, that's vague Hollywood terms of what that is. Because yeah, I want something more like Creed. I am fucking stoked for Creed.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just you just keep the storyline moving and you introduce new characters. And the last trailer for that movie, it's everything that people were pissed off about the Fantastic Four. Everybody that was mad about that movie will have no ability to be mad at Michael B. Jordan once he plays fucking Apollo Creed's son.
People are always
He
going to be
looks
mad.
Fucking great in that movie.
Oh, I was never mad at the actors for Fantastic Four.
Yeah, no. I liked what he did with what they gave him, but yeah, he's gonna be able to show a lot more acting chops in the Creed film. That one I'm just fucking stoked for. And old Rocky makes me sad.
I mean, Stallone's what, in his 60s now?
I think he's near
Probably
70
more,
at this
yeah.
point. He was
I don't know.
when he did Rocky Balboa, and came out chiseled like a fucking
Jesus.
superhero.
Yep.
Well, when you have unlimited money, unlimited trainers, and a whole bunch of MGH, you can look that good at 60.
Yeah. Google says Sylvester Stallone is 69 years old. He was born in 1946.
There you go. Yeah, I knew he was close to 70 at this point. And I'm betting, though, he's still going to look, in this movie, he's still going to look better at 70 than most motherfuckers do at 45.
It's because he's juicing. I mean, he got caught juicing and taking HGH. It's not like it's a secret.
What do you mean caught? Like, he's not a professional athlete.
Well, no. I mean, literally, when he flew in somewhere, his bag was searched, like, legitimately, like, overseas, and they found it was full of HGH and stuff that he wasn't supposed to have in that country. That's what I mean by caught.
Okay. But I mean, yeah, like, it's not like he gets caught. Like, he's not doing anything wrong. Literally, his job is to look good on screen. He's fucking 60. So, yes, he needs chemicals to help him look that good.
And
but the motherfucker's still putting in some work in the gym. Like, he looks great for an old dude.
And he has to be somewhat understandable. You can sometimes understand him.
You like mentally irregular? Yo.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know what he said, but that's just like watching the Rocky movies. I'm like, I'm not quite sure what he just said.
It's all about
I'm just going to go
context.
with it.
I have no problem understanding Stallone.
But can you understand Schwarzenegger?
Oh, Jesus.
Nobody understands Schwarzenegger. Nobody can understand the words that are coming out of his mouth.
No, they really can't.
Plus, yeah, Stallone has to be jacked for the Expendables.
Are they doing another Expendables now? Or are they doing the Expendables now?
Well, they are
It
doing
was
the
canceled.
Expendables. Oh, did they cancel it?
I haven't heard anything about it for all. I've heard some people dropped out.
I've heard nothing but casting rumors.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they'll keep. I don't think they have a reason to stop doing the Expendables movies. They're cheap and they make money. Well, I mean, they're not super cheap. Like, it's a bunch of explosions and stuff, but like, it's not CGI. Like, it's all practical effects. It's a bunch of guys, guns, and bullets. Motorcycles and planes. Like, that's got to be like the most fun job to work on for retired action stars.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
Hey, Bob, you want to blow some shit up? Yeah, let's go make another Expendables movie.
Or a Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah, but yeah, I just don't see why they would stop making Expendables films until they stop making money.
That's a good point. I'm sure it'll happen, but I did want to share this other piece of news that I'd found, and we can start wrapping things up here shortly. But you guys know I'm a huge, huge fan of BioWare's game series Mass Effect. Well, there's a theme park out in California. It's called Great America. BioWare is teaming up with them to create, quote, a dynamic 3D adventure set in the Mass Effect universe. That's all I really need to know, but according to them, it's an interactive ride curated by live performers that takes guests on a journey to a distant planet where they face off against larger-than-life foes and fight to save the day. It'll make use of cutting 3D technology and 4D effects. The ride throws passengers right into action, creating a fantastical adventure they won't soon forget. Dude, it's fucking Mass Effect in a theme park. I'm going. I better be on the goddamn Normandy.
First in line, I see.
I don't know if I'll be first, but opens in 2016 at California's Great America in Santa Clara, California. I want to go. It is a Mass Effect ride. I love Mass Effect. It is one of my favorite game series of all time.
Dude, they're doing dual 40-acre Star Wars live-action theme parks where you can walk on board the Millennium Falcon and go get a beer at the Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah, but I gotta wait
that
like 3 years for
anything
that.
else.
I gotta wait years for that. That's not happening soon. This will be done sometime next year.
The Mass Effect's next year?
Yeah. Mass Effect's 2016. Disney's, as much as Disney wants to, there's no way they're gonna have a big chunk of all that stuff done in time for 2017 or 2016 rather.
Have faith in the
Oh,
mouse.
no, that'll be like 2018 before it's finished. I just think it's weird that it took them this long to get it done. Because that was one of the first things I thought of, and they're like, oh, Disney's buying Lucasfilms. I was like, oh, wow, the Star Wars theme parks are going to be awesome. I was like, how the fuck did it take them this long to, like, get the permits and all the, promo art ready to make the announcement to say, hey, we're going to build these? They should have had that shit done in, like, a month.
And can you imagine what happens when they get the Marvel rights back from Universal for the theme park there, and they can do a Marvel world at Disney, too? Oh, man.
Definitely.
Man.
That's one I'll go to.
Yeah, I mean, you can go now, and it's at Universal Studios, and it's supposed to be really good, but it's not the same, man. The House of Mouse builds incredible rides. It's like common stance for them to be able to do it anymore. Everyone else is not as good as the Imagineers at Disney, who have quite possibly the second greatest job in the world behind the Mythbusters. No, the Mythbusters have the best goddamn job in the world.
My illustration teacher actually he got hired out of college for Lucasfilm. He was one of the guys that did some of the preliminary promo art for which one was it? It was the Star Wars theme park in Japan.
That
was one of the first things he got to work on. He said that was the coolest job in the world as an artist because literally it was, go to work at, I think it was the same building the ILM is in, but they're like, here, next door is the warehouse, and here's your key code to get into it, and it has every practical effect thing that we own from Star Wars that you might need to reference. Just go look. And they basically handed him, access to all the models. And like he said, his fucking, his 20-some-odd-year head just exploded.
Yeah,
like,
mine would too.
The coolest thing ever.
I would be like, oh my god, what is this you're giving me? You guys are the greatest. Something to that effect. Oh man. Let's see. Oh, here's another weird thing that Hollywood is trying to bring back, or I guess start up from an old book series when I was a kid. Do you guys remember hearing about a book series called The Animorphs?
I remember that. I never read them, but I remember the covers.
I read them as a kid. It was in the early 90s and through the 2000s, I think it went through. It might have been late 90s. I can't remember. But K.A. Applegate wrote the series. It went on forever. I fell off reading it before it actually ended because it just got ridiculous. But I guess Hollywood is looking at making a movie version of the Animorphs.
Well, luckily you have someone who read them as they came out when they were a kid.
Did you finish the series?
No, I think I stopped like 20-something.
Yeah, I think I stopped in the 20s or 30s. I think how many books did it go? Like 40, 50?
Holy moly.
There was even a TV series for a while.
Yep, Nickelodeon. I remember waiting for that to come out when I was in 6th grade.
List of Animorphs books. I want them to tell me how many they are. According to the Wikipedia, there is 54 Animorphs books.
Holy shit. Well, they got some storylines to choose from.
They basically came out once a month, it seems like. The first one was in June of 96, because I remember reading those. And it seems like from that point on, it was every 1 to 2 months they were putting out another Animorphs book. And they were, like $8 a pop or whatever?
I still have all mine somewhere. I think it's somewhere in my closet.
It kind of bums me out, though, because as I get near the end of the run, well, not end of the run, but around book 25, it seems like there were a lot of ghostwriters coming in to write the Animorphs books, according to Wikipedia.
Oh.
Okay, so someone who saw the covers of those and looked at the bad photo manipulation and said, "Yeah, I can't read that." What the fuck were they about?
So the whole concept of the Animorphs is the Earth was being stealthily invaded by an alien race. They're called like the Urics or something like that. They were basically
I never knew the pronunciation of any of these alien things.
I don't know how to say it, but they basically were like brain slugs that could go inside someone's head and control them. But they had access to their host's memories and things like that, so they would blend in perfectly with society. And there was another series of aliens, and God, I think they're called the Andalites.
That's how I pronounced it.
The Andalites that were their nemesis that was trying to stop them from invading all these places. And they had a technology that allows them to morph. They can acquire the ability to shape change into any animal that they have touched. But the caveat is they can only stay changed for 1 hour, or they're stuck forever in that form.
Which didn't that happen in the first book?
It was within the first 10 books. One of the kids actually... It might have been the first one. One of the kids, I think his name was Tobias.
Yep, Tobias. He got changed to a red-tailed hawk.
Yeah, he got stuck in a red-tailed hawk form. So he was stuck as an animal from that point on. And then eventually, at one point, they were able to give him back his morphing abilities as a hawk. And he was able to touch... He went back through time somehow and touched a younger version of himself. So he could turn from hawk into his human form for 1 hour. But if he stayed in human form past 1 hour, he would lose his powers. So he was willingly choosing to stay as a hawk, but could become himself for an hour at a time to do things.
It got a little weird.
Yeah, all they had to do... Yeah, all they had to do is after an hour change back to normal form. They could change right back into whatever animal they were in, but you just can't stay.
What was the downtime?
Seconds, whatever time it takes to morph
it was
back.
like 5 minutes.
Was it that much?
I think so.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I have read the books. Michelle summed it up pretty well. She goes, "Kids, you can turn into animals to save the world from basically the bad guys from Stargate."
Nice.
Because they were basically like the Goa'uld, but. I remember reading it. I got like halfway through before I dropped off, but it was actually a fun series for kids. It was very, very much kid-centric series, like young adult, mid-teens.
Which, I mean, it makes sense because, I mean, yeah, freaking Hunger Games, The Maze Runner, freaking, what's the other big one? The
Percy
Deprivation,
Jackson?
Logravation, Imprivation, all the ones that are they're all the Asian films.
Yeah, the trend is to go and take these young adult-centered books and make movies out of them, and I'm sure they could make an interesting movie. I mean, the concept of it was really cool.
Serious money.
Well, I mean, look what movie's coming out here in a little bit. Goosebumps.
That's true. It looks really bad. I'll be honest.
I have not seen the trailer. I'm a little scared too.
Yeah, well, they're not all winners. Lemony Snicket didn't do shit.
That's true.
That was a huge series of books. Where they did one movie and bleh, bombed. Everybody wants that Harry Potter money.
Well, can you blame them?
Yeah.
Hell no, can't blame them. Yeah, some of the young adult things are been handled well and turned into great film franchises, and other ones are. Yeah, Draftsman has Divergent.
That's it. Yeah, Divergent. I forgot all about that one.
Divergent, Insurgent, Detergent, whatever.
Bachman, how'd you like their fighting style in that? What was it?
The fighting style in
Divergent. Yeah, where they had their arms like this. It's like, what?
Well, that was kind of cool. I mean, anytime where they try to do a separate, a different take on hand-to-hand martial arts, I usually enjoy it. I love like when they did what is it, the Kensei system for the new Batman films, when Nolan actually went out and found a new different martial arts system that people were using, to where it's like it doesn't matter, there are no rules, and if in this situation you think headbutting your opponents is a good idea, do it. And so you got a Batman that was throwing a lot of elbows and knees and grabbing fuckers and headbutting them because he's wearing armor on his face. Like something like that, where when the directors or the story writers think of a different way to do fighting styles on film, I usually enjoy it because it's something to where a lot of Hollywood films, they don't even think about that shit. And it's a secondary thing, and they go and just get somebody, whoever, to do the fight choreography, and they don't care. When companies and the people actually take time to think about that stuff and actually put real thought into it to make it look different, I think that usually ends up turning out really well.
I don't know. I didn't see most of those movies you guys were just talking about there. I'm looking
I saw the first Divergent one, but I haven't seen the sequel yet. The first one, it was a pretty cool movie. It was the whole idea of everybody in the world's labeled into these 5 categories. Ooh, but there's this tiny group of people in the world that don't fit into the categories because our machine isn't that good.
The Divergence.
Yeah. It's a really simplified idea, but they did a good job with the film. It's just, I mean, yeah, it's a really basic idea, but the storyline's pretty good.
So I'm looking in the chat right now. The draftsman says, we are mining the shit out of our childhood and our young adulthood. But I want to see Friends the movie.
Dude, they're talking about a live-action He-Man. I mean,
God.
yeah.
The first live-action He-Man was absolute shit.
Don't get me started on that. I will bring up some Super Dick Mode on that one.
Oh, man, it's such a bad movie. And then Michelle in the chat room says, I want to see a Friends of Seinfeld crossover.
It's ridiculous. That would make $1 million.
It probably would.
Just $1 million?
Yeah, it would make $1 million.
Not a cent more.
Exactly 1 million.
Yeah, the 80s is still a very fertile landscape for them to be pulling stuff from. So what, we've seen Thundercats redone 3 times now?
We have.
He-Man might
He-Man,
get another live action. Like, there's still plenty of stuff coming out of the 80s.
They've done 2 or 3 different animated He-Mans at this point too, I think.
Yeah, and that last one was really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been all over. I don't know. Looking at the time, though, we probably do need to start wrapping things up. And for those familiar with the show, we're going to wrap things up as per normal. It's basically a little bit we call What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you, the listener, what kind of geeky things we've been doing, what we're planning on getting into to maybe convert you to our cause. So I'm going to let our special guest go first. And Willie D. Nelson, what have you been getting into? What are you planning on getting into?
Well, since we're wrapping it up, I already wrapped up my hand. Is that all right?
Oh, crap. That doesn't look fun.
I love puns. Well, I guess you guys know about the subscription boxes and whatnot. I am a subscriber to Arcade Block, part of Nerd Block.
God, there's
Kind of
so
similar to
many
Loot
of those
Crate.
now.
I know, but I've been with this for a while. And apparently Legend of Zelda was big in this one. So I got a bunch of stuff from that little block over here. First, I gotta find a record player to play this, but they gave a nice little record.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah. So I gotta find a record.
Galaxy little 45, nice.
Yeah. Let's gotta find out what kind of music's on it. See, I got a nice little keychain, the Hyrulean Shield.
Sweet.
So then, this little chicken from Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, nice little.
A bobble chicken?
Yep, it has a little sticker on the bottom. You stick it on your car, drive around with it. I feel like you're always getting chased with it. And Arcade Block, what's awesome about them is or Nerd Block too, they always come with a shirt. Every block comes with a shirt. This one is apparently Wind Waker centric.
Oh, that's really cool.
Nice.
So that's awesome. And then the big piece, I would say, not even the shirt, was a nice little painting that came with the hang-up.
Oh, Link in the Forest.
Oh, yeah, and they actually used smells like they used pine wood on it, because I can definitely smell some Christmas action up in here.
Nice.
That's cool. Michelle in the chat room said as a vinyl collector, she's jealous. She wants that 45.
I still gotta listen to it.
I think I still have one vinyl. It was a Wizard magazine or something. It was one of the comic book collector magazines back in the 90s. For some odd reason, just 1 month, they released the magazine bagged, and it came with a 45 of Rob Zombie's Black Sunshine.
Ooh.
That's cool.
And I wanted it, honestly, just for the artwork on the sleeve of the 45. The artwork is gorgeous. I think I still have it somewhere. But yeah, I was like, I don't have a record player, and I don't care, but this is fucking awesome. It's a Rob Zombie album.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really super cool.
And other than that, there will be, I guess I will say there will be no Quiplash today.
No Quiplash.
No Quiplash.
Oh, man. Well, now I'm all bummed out.
As you should be.
I'll go next with what I've been getting into because I haven't gotten into a ton because work's been insane, and I kind of shared all the TV I'd been getting caught up on. So really, outside of that, I've been playing some Saints Row 4 on my PC just because I love the shit out of that game because it's so ridiculous and over the top. It's kind of I've got 15 minutes to kill, so I'll go online and play a game and be ridiculous thing. I saw The Martian last night. And I've already said before, I really enjoyed the book. The movie was fantastic. They took some liberties from the book, but it is okay. It was generally for the better. No joking here and no over-exaggeration. It is probably my favorite movie I've seen this year so far. I really enjoyed it. Really well done. The effects were good. I can't find any complaints about it, honestly. It was just fun.
I'm trying to think of what films came out this year that you're saying The Martian is better than.
It's better than The Avengers. Better than Ant-Man.
Wow.
Better than Kingsman?
Yes.
Ooh.
I enjoyed Kingsman. But I
That's
like
some
The
fighting
Martian
words
more.
there. I would have to wait till I see this.
So I will go through a list of things that have
Yeah,
come out
that's-
this season.
That's high praise. That's fucking high praise is
Right.
what I'm saying.
So Avengers Age of Ultron's better than that. I haven't seen Mad Max, so I can't give you an opinion there. Jurassic World I never saw. Inside Out I never saw. I'm sure it was better than Terminator Genesis because
Yeah.
it's Terminator Genesis. It was better than Fast and the Furious 7. Let's see. Anything was better than Tomorrowland. It was probably better than Mission Impossible, although I haven't seen it. Yeah, honestly, it'll be better than Mockingjay. It'll be better than Insurgent. It's probably my favorite movie I've seen this year, no joke. Now, James Bond could dethrone that, and Kingsman, I'm not taking away from it. Really good movie. I love the hell out of Kingsman. But
And Michelle said Kingsman is awesome, and Drasman
Right.
said it's really good, but it's no Mad Max. So he puts Martian under Mad Max.
so
I still need to see Mad Max.
in all honesty, The Martian kind of gave me a callback to me being a kid when I loved space travel and things like that. And maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much, is it was kind of a callback to all of those things. Really, really good movie. And if you don't trust me in saying I think it's the best thing I've seen this season, it's really good. It's easily in the top 5 of the movies that have come out this year. For anyone, I would say. It's so good. So good. And that's really all I've been really getting into. How about yourself, Anthony? What have you been getting into?
Spending money that I don't have. That's always a problem.
Preach.
Yeah. I'm doing Inktober. I took a week off because of my tattoo, but I'm back, finished my first full week of Captain America training again. And apparently, I think it's a good thing that I gained 5 pounds this week because my gut didn't get any bigger. So I think it's a good 5 pounds.
That's probably a
Yay.
good sign.
Yeah, lots and lots of heavy weights and lots of protein shakes. But yeah, it's almost the end of October. It's almost done. 4 more weeks to go. I'm so fucking tired. This goddamn workout's kicking my ass. But I had fun on Thursday. Was the first time doing the Stephen Amell workout again, and I treated myself. I went and stopped at Sports Authority and found a couple of Under Armour shirts that were on sale, and I got one that is a straight black, yellow bat symbol Batman shirt. And so I broke that in on Thursday doing the Stephen Amell workout as Batman, because as my buddy Jason Clark likes to say, fucking Arrow is Batman. So it seemed fitting.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Spent money on a Humble Bundle. There's still 3 more days left on the Forbidden Comics banned Humble Bundle. It's $271 worth of Forbidden Comics. Every book on the list has either been challenged or banned somewhere. And it's just a ton of great books. I think I talked about it last episode too. There's still 3 days left on that. And then Kickstarter is just trying to take all of my fucking allowance. I'm just gonna run through the names because I'm backing a bunch right now. There's the Battle Chasers Night War video game, the Warden anthology comic, Wizards, Werewolves, Vampires, Goatmen is a clusterfuck, which that's one of my favorite titles. The Locksmith issue number 2, I Draw Manga Sketchbook and Reference Guide by the guys that did I Draw Comics, which is a fantastic book. It's a guy that works with Ryan Stegman, who is now the artist on, I think it's the Uncanny Adventures. The Illustrator's Guidebook is coming out, which that one looks really nice. Supernatural Book 1, which is a character that's an offshoot from the Trill League, which was a Kickstarter a couple of months ago that was really good. And then Katrina Hates the Dead is actually they called the project Katrina Hates the Dead print run because it's a book that's finished. They've completely done it. They printed, I think it was 100 copies that they took to San Diego 2 or 3 years ago, and they sold all of them out. And so it's the same same stuff that they had in that book, but now they're trying to do a print run of 1,000 copies of the book. That one looks really cool. It's an apocalyptic story that's a little different than the normal ones. Instead of being like right as the apocalypse happens, it's a world where this main chick Katrina lives in, like, I think it's 2 or 3 years after the apocalypse has happened. So when you join the storyline, like, all the good Christian people went up to heaven during the whatever bullshit thing that they had. Demons came to Earth, and now all the wars and stuff have kind of died down, and so a bunch of demons like work jobs, and she lives in a crappy neighborhood with zombies and crazy demon guys, and has a weird stalker. But yeah, it's like the future of what would happen eventually after, you know, the apocalypse just gets boring.
I'll back that one with you, buddy.
That one looks like fun. So yeah, and the artwork on it's great. The guy who did the artwork on that, what was it? He just finished doing one of the Dark Horse Star Wars books I think it was a 4-issue miniseries about Darth Maul. So I mean, it's a guy who the artist on this book. This was the first book he ever did, the first professional book I believe they ever finished. But the artwork on it's fantastic. And yeah, it's a bunch of, you know, demons and fire and hell spawn and zombies running around in a city and the badass chick kicking their ass. It looks like a really fun book.
Well, that's pretty cool. You always make me want to spend more money after you tell all these things. I'll be honest.
Do it.
The pending dollar amount that's coming out of my account because of Kickstarter is a little scary right now.
Yeah.
Oh, and Thursday I get my last package should arrive from Amazon, which has I think some different types of paint stripper, 3 or 4 different types of paint, my glossy finish coat, and all the other pieces and stuff that I need to start actually making my Captain America shield. So I'm hoping next Saturday I will actually bust out the sled, chop the edges off of it, strip it down, and start working on actually making my own shield. So
That'd
that
be cool.
should be fun.
Are you going to throw it around the room and have it bounce off walls and come right back to you?
Maybe. I'm working on trying to see if I can get some magnets built into my glove that my seamstress is making for my costume.
So
I may not be able to chuck it around the room, but yeah, I might be able to actually throw it up in the air and just stick my arm up and have it stick.
Or just throw it and say, damn, I need to get recalibrated.
I like it. That's not a bad plan.
It's a heavy fucker. It's a $50 steel sled. So yeah, it's gonna be something to worry out. I'm gonna need a hefty duty magnet, but if I get it done correctly, it'll stick to it because the motherfucker is metal.
Yeah, you're gonna need some big ass magnets for that.
Yeah, just put another magnet on your back for the turtling effect.
Yeah, well, she's building me the harness to go over the suit, so I will have the metal on the back. So I might do a magnet inside the shield on the back side that you can't see, because then I could put, you know, a big fucking hefty magnet and just have it stick to the bracket piece of metal on the back of the harness.
Just don't stand too close to computers.
Yeah, no doubt.
I break a computer at work with it, I won't give a shit because I'm gonna look good.
There you go.
Well, you got that going for you then. So it's that time in the show where we're going to start wrapping things up. But before we wrap things up, just wanted to let people know where you can find us. atgnpodcast.com is where the show is, where all of the back catalog is. You can find everything there. If you want to get in touch with us, go to Twitter at atgnpodcast or go to Facebook at facebook.com/allthingsgoodandnerdy. Excuse me, sorry about that. If you want to get in touch with us more directly, you can send us email to atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com. And best of all, give us a call on the ATGN hotline at 304-806-ATGN. Then you can tell us exactly what it is you think about the show, and we'll play it on the air. Because we're masochists, and if you make fun of us, we don't really care. I'll be honest. Don't really care. Just ask Willie. We've played his stuff before.
Yes.
And don't forget, we stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of Alpha Geek Radio, and finally at gonnageek.com/live. It's part of our ongoing quest to be everywhere on the internet on Sunday mornings to make sure you can watch us. So watch us, damn it. That's all I really got, man. But before I close out, big thank you to Willie for coming in, filling in the guest host seat again for us. We appreciate having you back.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Something like that.
Yeah. So before we get out of here, you guys have any final parting shots or final wisdom you want to impart to the audience?
Go take part in Inktober.
There we go. That's a valid thing. I don't really have any final advice because you don't want my advice anyways. Let's be honest.
And don't be a do-nothing bitch.
Yeah, what he said.
I'll just leave everybody with the internet half-half.
High five, internet. So, on that note, we're getting out of here, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.